Hello, welcome to this week's hashtag toe to toe. As always, I'm joined by Spencer Fearon, who is up in his specs game every week. You need to stop that because I need to up mine. And Callum Johnson. Good to see you, Callum.
How you doing?
So close for you at the weekend, but it just wasn't meant to be. But you must have so much to be proud of.
Yeah, I have. You know, I like to say I've come so close yet so far, but you know, I'm sort of happy, you know, with my performance. But at the same time, there's little bits of me that, you know, regret not going in for the kill in the second when I got him, and you know, I felt like I was a little bit tense and I could have performed a little bit better. But all in all, you know, it was a good experience. I'll learn a lot from it, you know, and I just can't wait to get back in there.
Spencer, what did you make of it? There's a lot to be proud of.
Listen to me. More so that the left hook that he threw.
Dangerous, isn't it?
That knocked over Butterf. Listen to me. That would have. Butterf is a very, very strong man. But what you did is this: that you've taken away from this fight so much, and it's like you got to remember. I remember Tony Bellew fighting Adonis Stevenson in, what was that, 2013. He lost the fight, but he learnt so much, and it improved him, and he upped his game. He became a better fighter for the back of it. One of the greatest African fighters of all time, Juma Nelson, fought Salvador Sanchez in 1982, and he went to the 15th round and lost Salvador Sanchez, one of the greatest featherweights of all time. He lost, but Juma Nelson came back from that. These are the things that you should be looking at, right? You should be looking at this and saying to yourself, okay, then, well, I know I can come back from this, and the biggest room is the room for improvement. You knew the things that you could improve on. And that's a nice thing. You're still young. You know what I mean? You've got some money in your pocket now. That's going to heal up.
That'll go. He's going on holiday next week.
And you're going on holiday. You're going to come back bigger and better. I've got no doubt in my head about that. I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed.
And so were so many people on social media. Honestly, there's been such a good reaction. Let's get stuck into them, shall we? Simon says, what did you learn from your fight at the weekend? How much confidence has that given you?
It's given me massive amounts of confidence. And, you know, I think I know where I went wrong and where I can improve, you know, so I feel I've learnt a lot from it as well.
What is that? What would you improve?
I think a lot of it's mental rather than physical, you know. I think the big occasion maybe got to me a little bit, you know, which I think might have affected my performance just slightly. But, you know, at this top level, it's fine margins. It's just fine margins, and I think that was the difference on the night, you know. I think he was probably just a cooler, calmer fighter, which paid off for him in the end.
OK, Jeff says, this is a good one. Does Bertby punch as hard as everyone says he does? What did it feel like?
You know, obviously, the result obviously shows he does. But in all fairness, when I was taking him on the gloves and everything else, didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. But obviously, when he caught me, he put me over. So, I mean, he must punch very hard.
OK. 22 Boxing says, if the opportunity for a rematch came up against Bertby, would you take it?
100%.
You would?
100%.
Or they would say, would you prefer a different route? So would that be your first option?
100%. I mean, ideally, I'd like to get another fight or two and then get the rematch. That's what I would like to do, because I feel I could win that fight. Even more so now with the improvements I think it will give me. And a year down the line, I'd love to get in there with him again and see if I can return it.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to see the rematch. Spencer, you did a tactical breakdown of the first fight. What do you think he should do differently if the rematch happens? What would you like to see him do differently?
Well, when we did a tactical breakdown, I was saying the key shot for him was the left hook, and when you hit him that with left hook, I said, oh my God, it's happening. Maybe that, but it was like, sometimes when you're in that top level, you try to be a bit too slick. I think you was trying to be a little bit too slick. There's no disrespect. I thought in the early rounds, you're trying to be a bit too slick with the movement, and you should have. But you stuck to a game plan, and it nearly came off when you had him over. But you should have jumped on him when you had the chance to. But you know what? In hindsight, when you're looking back, you jumped on him, and then he could have recovered. You said, "Oh, I should have jumped on him because in the next round, then I could be knackered." But on the improvements, I think the improvements are more to do with the mental, like you're saying, like mentally.
But that will come, won't it?
Experience, of course
exactly.
It will. Yeah, it was a massive jump. This is no disrespect to Frank Buglioni, right? You're not at Frank Buglioni, right? But the gap between Frank Buglioni and Butterby is massive. You close that gap, and you just continue. You're going to close that gap, then you're going to surpass the gap that you've closed.
We're talking of Buglioni. Ryan has tweeted in saying, would you still be interested in a rematch with him?
I think that rematch is a long way off, if I'm honest, especially after the other night. But never say never, you know. I mean, it might happen down the road, but right now, you know, Frank Buglioni's not really in my thoughts. You know, like he says, I'm sort of looking up there, and you know, I'm at world level now. People are saying that. You know, it's not just me saying that. I think I've proved I can perform at world level. You know, so a rematch with Frank Buglioni's not really in my thoughts at the minute.
Well, this leads me on nicely to Bradley's tweet. He said, what is the plan then? A fight in the UK, a big fight in the UK, and then world title shot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've got to sit down with Joe and Eddie and see what they want to do, because at the end of the day, what they say goes, really. I mean, but for me, I mean, I'd jump back in there next week for a world title fight. You know, that's obviously what all boxers are craving, that world title fight and that opportunity. But yeah,
You're back
I mean,
in the gym, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm
tomorrow?
back. I'm going to be back in the gym tomorrow. Yeah.
What's going on here?
That's no break.
No, I mean, I just can't wait to get back in. I'm itching. You know, I've never felt this hungry since before the Commonwealth Games. To be honest, I feel really hungry, and I just can't wait to get back in there and prove I can win a world title, because I truly believe I can now. I thought I could before, but now I know I can, and you know, I just can't wait to get back on the road and, you know, get back on that journey to getting it.
Well, slightly different. Simbo says, would you defend your British title against Anthony Yard? Would you think he'd even take that fight?
Listen, if it come about and the money was right and everything else, and why not? But again, you know, would they want to take the fight at this stage? We don't know. It's questions we don't know. But I'm open for anything. You know, what makes sense at the time. And again, if the money's right, because, you know, I want to try and earn a few quid as well.
There's no shame in that. Spencer, you know Yard very well. Do you think he'd take
I don't know him. Why does everyone feel? Why does everyone? I don't know. Of course, I'm very close to him and his trainer.
Do you think he'd take the fight?
He would say exactly the same thing. Well, not him, because he leaves management to management. His management would say if the money was right and then his opportunity to grow exponentially, then they will take the opportunity. But if I was in Callum's position, I wouldn't be looking at to fight Anthony Yard. I'd be thinking like, I've just fought for a world title, and I fought gallantly for a world title as well. And I think I'm at this level right now where I should be pushing forward to be 1 fight, 2 fights, and fighting for a world title against guys who are ranked highly in the organisation that Beterbiev holds a title with, than me looking at somebody like Anthony Yard because of where he is now, where he's positioned himself by the performance that he put on the weekend.
We know in boxing, styles make fights. Do you think the styles have blend well?
Of course it would. This guy is a phenomenal puncher. And you got to give him, he's a phenomenal puncher, but just to call him a phenomenal puncher is discrediting him, because he actually got a boxing brain as well. And with somebody like Anthony Yard to me could be a little bit Tyson-esque and a little bit of Roy Jones mixed in there with Floyd Mayweather. So, of course it'd make a great fight. It would make an excellent fight. But, you know, promotional groups, it could be a bit hard, but it would be a great fight if them two were to put it on.
So it'd be a great fight.
It would be.
We get the gist. Right, park that fight for a moment. Jez says, this is move on to Amir Khan. What do you make of Amir Khan insisting on a rehydration clause, firstly? And does it prove how little confidence Khan has of beating Brook under normal circumstances?
Listen to me, right? We've given Amir Khan
so much. Ask Callum first.
Sorry, ask Callum first, because, like, this is kind of winding
You've
up.
had your moment,
Right,
Callum.
sorry, sis, sorry.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't agree with the rehydration clause, because at the end of the day, if you make the weight on the day, you make the weight, and then you can, unless it's for the IBF, then you've got that £10 limit. You know, it is what it is. I think it'll hurt Kel making 147, so I think that'll take a lot out of Kel anyway. You know, I don't know. I mean,
well, Brook had to do the £10 limit, didn't he? When he
I think. Listen,
half.
if they make 147, let them be whatever they are. You know, let them fight, and the best man will come out on top.
Now's your chance, Spencer. What's your thoughts on that?
Thank you very much, sis. I'm saying, when Kell Brook has done this in world title fights, nobody complained about it. This rehydration clause is like Amir Khan could be a bit diva-ish, where he's saying, well, I want a clause in the contract to say of the rehydration. There's nothing wrong with that, because we do this in world title fights. Now, if this was now all of a sudden like somebody got stripped of a world crown and said, well, you two are going to fight each other and it's also going to be for a world title, there'll be a rehydration clause in it. I don't think there should be. The major thing is that the fight should be happening. The major thing is that Amir Khan is openly speaking about wanting to have this fight, especially the last time he's here, and we kind of put it on a bit. So therefore, don't worry about the rehydration clause. Have it or don't have it, but have the fight. That's all I'm interested in. And Amir Khan is not sitting down saying, like, I've got little confidence, because people challenge his manhood, saying that, why have you not taken this fight? Now he's saying, I'll take the fight, but I want things in my favour. What's wrong with that?
Well, that is a fight I know a lot of people want to see. It would be a dream fight. Moving on to another one that was announced just before the weekend. Richard says, what's your thoughts on Rocky versus Canelo?
That's shocked me, to be honest.
I think a lot of people.
You know what?
Were
You can't. Or you just say good luck to Rocky. I mean, Canelo's a superstar. Obviously, he's a massive favourite, and you've got to fancy Canelo to do a job, haven't you? But listen, I wish Rocky all the best and take that chance, and I hope he pulls it off. I really do hope he pulls it off. If you ask me, do I think he can? Probably not. You know, but anything can happen in boxing. Let's be honest, and he's got a bit of a dig on him as well. So who knows?
Well, another thing Richard said is the weigh-in will look like David and Goliath.
It will look like David and Goliath, but if you look with Canelo's very, very broad. I don't know how he was getting down when he was boxing down at super welterweight.
What was your reaction?
When I first heard it, nothing surprises me in boxing anymore. Seriously, when you watch boxers, now I'm grey, nothing surprises me. But to see this fight, to say that it's happening, I was saying, good on everybody involved. Good on everybody involved, down to the promotional tie-ups that's got to do with it, down to the two fighters, down to the fact that Rocky's going to get the exposure that he never ever dreamed he was going to get, and the financial rewards that go along with it. And I'm telling you this now, Rocky Fielding is a lot better than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at the time when he fought Canelo. Rocky's in with a chance. They can say, what are you talking about? He's in with a chance. Believe it, speak it, receive it, believe it. Receive it is the most important thing.
Do you think it's telling, though, that Canelo didn't face your gym mate, Callum Smith?
Yeah, I think it makes you wonder if he's going up to that weight, test himself against Rocky to try and make that big fight down the line against Callum. But
you don't think it's because he's trying to avoid Jamal Charlo?
Possibly, but then
Charlo's the real deal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, of course he is. But again, I think that would be a massive fight, Callum and Canelo. So maybe I think he might be testing the waters. But who knows? You might be right. He might just be trying to avoid other fighters. It's exciting. I'm pleased for Rocky. Like you say, he's going to get a massive payday and everything else, and I'm just pleased for the kid, and I hope he does it.
Yeah, we're all very much looking forward to it. That's just about it from us. So you're back in the gym tomorrow?
I'm back in the gym tomorrow,
and then you're off on a holiday?
I'm off on holiday next week, but I'll be training out there as well. I'll be getting myself ready. I'd like to fight again this year, to be honest, if I could. I'd like to get out December, but we'll see what happens.
We'd love to see that. Thank you very much for joining us.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And don't forget to download the podcast, which will be available on iTunes later today.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.